Hey everybody, welcome back to Art with J Dot. My name is JD, aka J Dot, and I'm an artist. And for today's exercise, we're gonna do a little watercoloring. I'm gonna paint a brain. So I've markered a brain and then I filled in the color with some watercolor. And we're gonna just have fun and paint a little bit. You can use whatever kind of watercolors you have. I've got, these are probably like some very basic Crayolas. I've got these Grumbascher. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I have these sets. Whatever you have or whatever you can get your hands on would be just fine. We're just using basic colors. So let's grab our supplies. You'll need some paper, a Sharpie, and watercolors, a cup for some water, and paper towels because it's gonna get wet. So let's grab a seat and get painting. All right, everybody. So we are going to paint a brain in watercolor. I'm gonna just run over supplies real quick. I have a pencil, a Sharpie, a brush, any kind of brush you want. I like this medium size round here. I have this, I have my sketchbook here. You could, if you use typing paper, you might want to use maybe stack a couple layers on top of each other because we're gonna get wet and that water's gonna want to seep through that first layer. This sketchbook's nice because it's a little bit thicker. It's a mixed media book, so it's able to take markers and watercolor and get, able to take some media that's gonna saturate and it'll absorb it better. But whatever you have, you can make it work. Like I said, typing paper, maybe stack a few papers on top of each other to help absorb the water. I have my trusty cup of water here. I've got my watercolors. We're not going to use all these colors. If you have something like this, it's going to be just fine. Here's the brain we're going to kind of mimic. And grab a seat. Let's get to creating. So what I would like to do, while I have a pencil and a Sharpie, I'm gonna sketch out my brain here. So I'm gonna make like a jelly bean shape. So very lightly with my pencil, I'm just gonna make a loose jelly bean shape. So this is the contour of my brain. And then there's this little back end piece. It almost has these lines through it on the back, and then I'm gonna do a little couple bumps here on this bottom part too. And then I'm gonna draw a little brain stem sticking out here, and I'm gonna make some zigzags on the bottom and just make it like a tube that got kind of like it's torn here, and then there we go. All the lines on the inside, it's almost, to me, it looks like a maze. So you can kind of be free with this and do however you feel. You can follow along with me. And remember, at any time, if you need to pause this or to catch up or to take a break or do whatever you need, please do. I'm just gonna go at my pace, and you can either keep up or go at your own or however you're comfortable, okay? So I'm gonna start filling in these lines with my pencil, and I'm just gonna kind of make this maze of brain matter, I guess you could say. So I'm just gonna start, where do I wanna start here? I'm gonna start right in here, and I'm just gonna make, like I said, it's almost like paths on a maze. And I'm gonna try and kind of make them, I'm gonna try and fit all these pieces of the puzzle together. I'm gonna make these edges kind of pop a little bit and give it some 3D look in there. And then I'm gonna just fill in spaces here. Start to close the gaps. Just kind of zigzagging back and forth and making like these rows of matter. once we go over with marker, it'll pop a little bit more, and you'll kind of see how this will all tie together. And that's why I like to do this pencil. I can kind of go back over and erase if I need to, and tighten up. And all right, so I filled that in. Now this little piece here has like these lines that go through. It's almost like gild or vent lines. I know that's not really what it is, but it's just so you kind of how it looks. All right, so I've got my pencil base in, and now I'm just gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna trace the lines that I want to keep, okay? And there we go. There is our marker brain. Now here's you don't have to, because it's not gonna matter too much because we're gonna paint it, but you can take, your eraser here, or I've got this eraser, and I'm just gonna kind of go in and touch up. I'm gonna get rid of some of the stuff on the inside of the brain. Then I'm gonna brush away all the little leftover stuff. And now I can throw some paint down. So I'm gonna get my round brush here, and I've got my water cup. Gonna get the brush nice and wet. And also paper towels are gonna be a friend of ours. I'm gonna start with like this orange. I'm just gonna get this wet, and I'm gonna lay some water on this orange and keep pushing that water into it until you can kind of see that color start to come up on your brush. And then I'm gonna just pick a random spot. I'm gonna pick one of these paths, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fill it. And I'm gonna stay on this path because I'm gonna get colorful with this and color different parts of the brain, different colors. So I'm gonna jump over to this side and throw in another color, the same color over here. And we'll do one over here. I'm gonna go for this. So I have this like teal. If you don't have this color, I would say like a blue like this, or even the blue there, whatever blue you have is what I'm gonna use next. Let's do a red. And I'm thinking one more color. I'm gonna do this yellow. Remember, you can mix colors too. So if you don't have this color here, you could take some orange and yellow, and on your palette here, that's kind of what this plastic, you have these spots in here. You can kind of take your colors, and with water, you can mix them to make something like this gold if you don't have it. For this last part, I think I'm going to go back to my blue. I might do a little bit of a different blue here. I'm going to use this little bit more of a true blue. All right, good job, everybody. So at this point, it's wet, and I want to go back over, and we're going to add some depth with a darker color to kind of make it pop a little bit. So I need this to dry. It's pretty dry. I didn't get it too wet, but I can see I'm still wet. So let's take a timeout, let this dry, and come back to it after it's dry. You can, if you want to quick dry it, if you have a hair dryer, you can blow it on the paper. And just to be aware though, if you have pools of water, it's going to push it out and it's going to kind of spray it out, splatter effect, which it would be cool too. I don't think it would look bad at all. It would look pretty cool. So however you want to do it, you can wait and let the time just dry it out, or you can quick dry it with a blow dryer, or you could, if it's sunny out and not too windy so your art doesn't blow away, you can put it out in the sun and let it dry too. So let's take a break, and when it's dry, come back and let's add on to this. All right, and we're back, and my We're gonna do some wet on dry now because it's not gonna bleed, so these colors can be layered now without them bleeding into each other, which is what I'm going for. So it's dry to the touch, so I feel good. I'm gonna go for something darker now to add these shadows. And I'm almost out of purple here, so I'm gonna take what little purple I have left, and same brush. You can change it up if you want a thinner brush for detail. That might be a good idea, but I'm gonna keep my same guy. And I'm gonna go in, and so all these creases where basically all the black lines are and they touch, I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna, I don't even care. I want it to go on both sides of the Sharpie lines. So I'm just gonna kind of go in here and literally just trace my Sharpie lines, but it's gonna go on both sides, and I'm not going, see how I'm just loosely cruising through this. You could take your time and be as detail oriented as you wanted to, but I'm just going through it here. I'm not gonna go on the outside. I'm gonna keep my purple on the inside of the brain, so I'm not gonna go on the border. Like always, if you need to pause this to catch up or rewind, it's all good. I'm not getting my brush too soaked, just wet enough to pick up the purple off my palette there and be able to apply it to the paper. I'm gonna go on each one of these lines on these ribs on this bottom part of the brain. I'm gonna put a little shadow here, like this piece is kind of make this pop here. And I'm even gonna go on the bottom. I'm gonna say the lights up here. So I'm gonna make a shadow on the bottom of the brain. So about halfway horizontal, I'm gonna start here and I'm just gonna trace on the inside of the brain like this. I'm gonna do a little shadow on the bottom here, and there it is. There is your watercolor brain. So good job, everybody. Thanks for tagging along. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Share with everybody, and you can shop j.art on my website. Links are in the bio. I have cool shirts and lots of art, and keep following and we'll keep making art, all right? Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.